again, Tony G here with The Take. So today I want to talk quickly about the pay-per-view problem plaguing WWE right now. What's happening is we are getting so many shows in so little time, it is completely and utterly watering down the product. In fact, just the other day, I was following a post on Facebook throughout the comments section, and the post topic was, is WrestleMania watered down? And I thought, no, that can't be. And then I thought about it. I'm like, hey, it kind of is watered down. Right now, you're cramming 900 people into a 7-hour show. It's going to get watered down at this point. I've made my thoughts on how they could save some of that. They could move the Battle Royals to, say, SummerSlam. They don't need to cram everybody onto this show. That would help a lot with that. But what's the real problem? Why would somebody think that WrestleMania is watered down? Why are these shows suffering? Right now, Stomping Grounds was such an utter failure ticket sales-wise. It was a new low that the company was not prepared for. What is causing this? Why is this happening? What is the root of the evil, per se? It's really simple, in my opinion. Other than the fact that the product has become quite stale to the casual viewer who has turned their fandom to AEW, really, the problem is not just the product being watered down, it's the fact that you are cramming so many shows into so little time that you have no time to prepare the shows. You have no time to build storylines. You have no time to actually sell the tickets, let alone sell the pay-per-view on your shows on the weekly basis anyway. Everybody knows that there's going to be a big show every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. If we're lucky, every 4 weeks. With the stalemate that is WWE television right now, pushing a card that is chock full of rematches dating back to WrestleMania, it was going to fail no matter how you spun this. What they should have done from the get-go was just eliminated this show altogether. Not done a Backlash, not done a Stomping Grounds, nothing. How can we miss you if you won't go away? That's what this is about. You have so many shows that it's okay if you miss one, right? Not like us. We're forced to watch it so we can entertain you. Lucky for you. Unfortunately, a lot of these shows end up being duds because they had such little thought put into it. They had such little prep time. Even the performers themselves are burnt out on the idea of doing this many shows for very little payoff. Really, what did they do at Stomping Grounds that couldn't have been done on SmackDown and Raw? That's the problem. Back in the Attitude Era, when shows were once a month, every 4 or 5 weeks, the big stuff, you could save the big stuff for the big shows. But there was so much going on the main card too. Right now, they're saving so many of those big surprise moments for the big shows that they can't promote them, A, and B, it makes the weekly television shows hurt because they're buying their time, waiting for that big payoff, for that big moment. Give it away on free TV, the interest will go up, you will be better for it. Personally, I've been saying this for a long time. It's time to go back to a much simpler pay-per-view format. This is what I'm proposing. Go back to the main 5 shows. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. With the brand split essentially being over with this wild card rule and the move to Fox, the time is right to do this. If you only have 5 major shows a year to plan for, you can book your storylines around that. You can prepare for that. If you go back to 5 shows, 5 main shows, and you can properly book them ahead of time, they will be better quality because of it. Do we need Backlash or Payback or Stomping Grounds or Great Balls of Fire in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania? No, we absolutely do not. Back in the day when it was Royal Rumble all the way to WrestleMania before another big show, it made the payoff to the WrestleMania match so much sweeter because you had to wait that long for those two to finally get in the ring together and throw down. That made it so much more enjoyable because you waited and the anticipation built and the payoff was so much greater. So here's the structure that I am proposing. January, Royal Rumble. It's at the end of the month. You've basically already gone through January. It's basically February. So you've got all of February, all of March. Nothing else happens. And then at the start of April, WrestleMania. So you've got all that time to build from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. It's perfect. It's what WrestleMania was supposed to be. It's what Royal Rumble was designed for. After WrestleMania, there's always going to be that fallout, right? Well, we're not talking main shows in May. What I'm proposing to fill in the gaps in between the big five shows, you bring back an in your house type event. You can call it by whatever you want. You can make some fun new name, main event, whatever. But you do a 2-hour super show on a Sunday night in between the big shows if you need to fill some gaps. That way you can do a big match with the big names, maybe not a one-on-one, maybe a team versus a team type thing. But if the champions need to have a big match, you need to do something in between the big shows. This is your opportunity to do that. We don't need a 4-hour show. You do like 2-3 big matches on that card. People are going to want to watch that as opposed to half the card being filler matches anyway. You don't need pre-shows with this. Just 2 hours of 2-3 big matches with the best names. That's going to make people want to tune in. People will watch that. People will even subscribe to the network for that. More on that in a second. After WrestleMania, you do one of these 2-hour shows in May. You get to June, King of the Ring. Obviously, that's tournament. You can, if you still got 2 world champions, you can have them both wrestle somebody on that show, obviously. But the main focus, of course, is the King of the Ring tournament. You do your finals, you do your King of the Ring, you've got your championship matches, King of the Ring. July, you can do your in-your-house Extreme Rules type event, another couple-hour show. You know, if this is a feud furthering type event, you know, you get those guys. It's not a feud ender, but you really got to get some licks on one of these guys. It's an Extreme Rules in your house type show. August, SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, to make it feel important, forget about Money in the Bank. You do the Money in the Bank matches at SummerSlam. And you know what? You acknowledge the fact that the Money in the Bank match is a TLC match. You can call it the TLC Money in the Bank match. That's what TLC is. You can still do TLC matches throughout the year. Don't do it on a set specific show on the calendar because that makes people not excited when it's announced. September, you do another in your house 2-hour show. Survivor Series, obviously it used to be the big focus was the 5-on-5 match. It would be again moving forward since, again, we are expecting the brand split to end and the champion versus champion format to kind of go away. You can still do champion versus champion matches. If we've only got a world title and intercontinental title at that point, those two guys fight. And have the women's champion pick a partner and face the tag team women's champions. If the 24/7 title's still a thing, hell, let them fight the cruiserweight champ. Get some of the NXT champs involved. This would be fun. You know, get your UK champ versus the world champ. Stuff like that. That could be fun for this show. That would make this show feel big and important. It would draw interest. You're bringing people from separate brands head to head. And then, of course, December was typically going to be your closing of the year. Well, it's going to be another 2-hour show here. But I propose that December would be the 2-hour elimination chamber type in your house. Honestly, you could have 2 matches. Women's and men's elimination chamber, 2-hour show, done. So in review, here is the list. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, in your house, King of the Ring, in your house, SummerSlam, in your house, Survivor Series, in your house. There it is. Simple, easy. It takes a lot of the pressure off the talent to have to force storylines, to have to force themselves to get a storyline over. Slow playing it builds the anticipation. Not force feeding people 4-hour shows every 2-3 weeks. That's going to make people want to see the shows much more intently. Promise, if you actually build a storyline and you make people savor it, they're going to want to go to the show. They're going to want to see the show and buy a subscription. Please, WWE, if the stomping ground ticket sales taught you anything, go back to this format. Dull it down a little bit because you've completely overpopulated the waters here, and it is time to let the lake heal. Trust me. Those are my thoughts. Again, I'm Tony G. This is The Take. Any other topics you want to see in the future, let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.